Welcome to the chapter Indian History and Culture. This slide presents the overview of the chapter. Learning objectives. By the end of this chapter, you will be able to understand what is meant by ancient history. Describe the evolution of primitive man. Explain about the Indus Valley civilization. Learn what is Indian culture. Give a brief description of the Indian monuments that reflect the Indian history. Describe about some important personalities in Indian history. Let us first start with the introduction. In class 3, we have learnt about family history. We know that family history includes various details of a family like the members in the family, place of their living, reputation of the family, types of houses they lived in, types of clothes used, type of food they ate, and many other things. Do you know, just like how every family has a history, every village, city, state, and country has a history behind it? Do you have any idea of our Indian history? In this chapter, let us know about our country's history and culture in brief. We will first know what is meant by ancient history. The history narrates about the events or incidents that occurred in the past. Ancient history describes the evolution of primitive man. Primitive people or early people were nomads. Nomads are people who regularly move from place to place. They used to live in small groups in the caves or under trees or rocks. In the beginning, they used to hunt animals and eat the raw flesh, but later they started cooking food. By the discovery of fire, they started cooking food. They made earthen bowls and cooked food in those bowls. Slowly, they began animal rearing and agriculture. Gradually, from the stage of gathering food, they reached the stage of growing food. Now let us take a look at Indian history. By knowing India's history, we can know the changes and events that took place in the lifestyle of our people in the past. A department called the Archaeology Department conducts excavations and surveys to know about our past. In the year 1922, Sir John Marshall of Britain carried out excavations in and around India near the river Indus and discovered the Harappan civilization. The Harappan civilization, which is also called Indus Valley civilization, was an urban civilization where cities were built in an organized way. He found that in the Harappan civilization, there were big buildings which were constructed in a proper manner. The main occupation of the Harappan people was agriculture. The important crops that were grown were wheat, paddy, and barley. The Harappan people were creative. They used to make different handicrafts using metals like copper, bronze, lead, and aluminium. They carried out trading with West Asia and Egypt. Lothal was their main port. They were religious too. They used to worship Lord Shiva and Mother Earth. We can know about our country's history not only through excavations, but also through ancient buildings, books, old manuscripts, museums, etc. Historical museums are places where remains of an ancient period are preserved. For example, Salar Jung Museum in Hyderabad. Now, it is time to know about our culture. In general, the ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular section of people or society is called culture. The food we eat, the language we speak, the dress we wear, the crops we grow, our festivals, procession, the games we play, songs, all of these are the symbols of our culture. Our culture is also reflected in our style of living, thoughts, works, arts, literature, entertainment, etc. Our Indian culture is different from that of other countries. In our culture, we worship trees, animals, birds, air, water, and fire. We respect nature and treat all living beings equally. Our culture has a special recognition and respect in the world. Our cultural heritage includes sculptures, temples, buildings, music, dance, paintings, Puranas, Itihasas. It is our duty to protect our culture for our future generations. Knowledge check. Attempt the following questions to check your understanding. In our country, there are many ancient temples, monuments, stupas, forts, and sculptures which reflect our country's history. So, we will now know about some of the monuments related to our country's history. Sarnath Stupa, Qutub Minar, Char Minar, Red Fort, Telangana Martyr Statue, 1000-pillar temple, Ashoka pillars. Click each tab to know more. Sarnath Stupa. A stupa is a dome-shaped structure made of bricks and stones. One such stupa is the very ancient Sarnath Stupa. It is present in a place called Sarnath near Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh. It was built by the king Ashoka. Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar is one of the most famous Indian historical monuments. It is considered the second tallest minar of India. Its height is 225 meters. It is situated in Delhi. Qutbuddin Aibak started its construction and Iltutmish completed it. Char Minar. Char Minar is a monument and a mosque located in the city of Hyderabad, Telangana, India. It is 58 meters tall. It was built by the fifth ruler of the Qutub Shahi dynasty, that is Sultan Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah, in the year 1591. Red Fort. The Red Fort is the famous historical fort of Delhi. It is built with red stone. Because of the extensive use of red stones in the great walls of the fort, it is known as Red Fort. Its architecture is of Persian and Indian style. Telangana Martyr Statue. The Telangana Martyr Statue can be found in front of the Telangana State Assembly. This statue was unveiled in memory of the people who sacrificed their lives during the 1969 Telangana movement. 1000-pillar temple. 1000-pillar temple is a very famous historical temple of India. It is located in Warangal city of Telangana state. The temple, as the name indicates, is decorated with 1,000 pillars. This temple was constructed during the Kakatiya period. The main deity in this temple is Lord Shiva. Ashoka Pillars. The Ashoka Pillars are a series of pillars scattered throughout northern India. Out of all the pillars, the most famous one is the Ashoka Pillar located at Sarnath. Ashoka Pillar is made of sandstone. We can see 4 lions engraved on it. The Indian national emblem has been adopted from the lion capital of Ashoka at Sarnath. The Indian currency has the national emblem on it. Here we will perform an activity of identifying the names of few Indian monuments. Observe the following images and drag and drop their corresponding names in the space provided under each image. Knowledge check. Attempt the following questions to check your understanding. Now, let us know about some important personalities in Indian history. Mauryas, Satavahanas, Guptas, Vijayanagara kings, Kakatiyas, Mughals, Marathas. Click each tab to know more. Mauryas. The Mauryan Empire was the first major empire in the history of India, ruled by the Mauryan dynasty. It was founded by Chandragupta Maurya. Ashoka was his grandson. Chandragupta's grandson Ashoka was one of the great rulers of India. After the Kalinga War, he preached non-violence and worked for the spread of Buddhism. Dharma Chakra, which can be found in the center of our national flag, is taken from the Sarnath Stupa built by Ashoka. The founder of Satavahana dynasty is Srimukha. They ruled Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra for 450 years. Gata Saptasati was written by Hala, one of the Satavahana kings. The greatest king among all the Satavahana kings was Gautami Putra Satakarni. There was a university near Nagarjuna Konda during his reign. Guptas. The Gupta Empire was established by the great Chandragupta in 320 BC. He was also called Vikramaditya. He was the most popular ruler in the Gupta dynasty. In his court, there were 9 poets called Navaratnas. Among all of them, Kalidas was the greatest. During the Gupta period, many beautiful sculptures and paintings were developed. The world-famous Ellora caves belong to the Gupta period. Vijayanagara kings. Vijayanagara kingdom was one of the important kingdoms in the medieval Indian history. Among all the rulers of this kingdom, Sri Krishna Devaraya was the most famous. Sri Krishna Devaraya ruled the kingdom from 1509 to to 1529. In his court, there existed 8 poets who were called Astadhiggajas. He was also a great poet. The book titled Amukta was written by him. Kakatiyas. The Kakatiya period was rightly called the brightest period of the Telugu history. The entire Telugu-speaking area was under the kings who spoke Telugu and encouraged Telugu. Amongst all the Kakatiya rulers, Ganapati Deva and his daughter Rudrama Devi were famous. They were the one who united all the Telugu-speaking people. Many beautiful structures were built under their rule, like the Warangal Fort, 1000-pillar temple, Ramappa temple. Mughals. Akbar was the most famous Mughal emperor who ruled India. Even though he was a Muslim, he used to treat other religions equally. He was a great administrator. Marathas. Shivaji, the famous Maratha ruler, was born on February 19, 1627. He was the founder of the Maratha Empire. He was a follower of Hinduism but was tolerant towards other religions and earned a good name. Shivaji's guru was Samarth Ramdas. During his period, Saint Tukaram was a great saint. Here we will do an activity of identifying the photos of some famous personalities in Indian history. Drag and drop the respective photos into the respective boxes. Knowledge check. Attempt the following questions to check your understanding. Keywords. List of keywords are shown on the screen. Summary. Let us recap the highlights of this chapter. The history narrates about the events or incidents that occurred in the past. Ancient history describes the evolution of primitive man. By knowing India's history, we can know the changes and events that took place in the lifestyle of our people in the past. In general, the ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society is called culture. In India, there are many ancient temples, monuments, stupas, forts, and sculptures which reflect our country's history. Read the questions and attempt the answers on your own. You can click Answer for your reference. Follow-up work. Take a white chart and write down the differences between the ancient man and today's man, primitive and modern man. Search the internet and find out why the civilizations flourished on the banks of rivers. What can we learn through the important monuments? Collect more details about them from books and discuss. Take a white chart and make a table showing the details of important people and monuments of our country. Test your understanding of the chapter by taking the mock unit test. You have successfully completed the chapter Indian History and Culture.